Hi, I'm Matt Thompson, Hefty Naturals Brand Manager.
And I'm Rob Fritz, Lead Agronomist, Hefty Seed Company.
How many times have you as an operator ever thought about the water you were using for either your chemical or biological applications in the field?
I can tell you that prior to a few years ago, we didn't really think about it a whole lot. Then we started figuring out some things that made us feel like, hey, we need to be paying attention to what is actually happening in the water, in the tanks, in our sprayers, and in our pop-up system.
So to Rob's point, we've had issues over the past 10 years of consistency with foliar applications and microbe applications across the Hefty Seed Company territory. And the biggest frustration for us as the data comes in is the inconsistent manner that it comes.
And so what we started doing is digging in deeper, and we started figuring out, hey, there's a lot of variability in water, and there's a lot of things going on between well water and rural water as far as all the things that go into the tank that we're not really paying attention to. Calcium, magnesium, and a pH thing that all become a big deal in your spray tank.
So Rob, the very first question that I'd ask any kind of operator on the farm, or even you, is if you have rural water on your farm and it's safe for your family to drink, what's one of the ingredients that water treatment facility is going to put in that water to make it safe?
Chlorine.
What's that chlorine's job?
Kills bugs.
So if we have a microbe or a biological product that we are introducing into rural water, what's the chances of survival when we've got chlorine in the tank?
Virtually zero. I mean, it's designed to kill it, and it does a very good job. And if you're sitting in the tank any amount of time, it's going to definitely deplete the count.
So we've taken our actual biological products like Nutricycle or Microcycle, we've sent them off to the lab with rural water samples, and we physically have got that water tested to see what reaction happens with chlorine. What happens?
In 3 hours, they're pretty much gone. They're all dead.
In 1 hour's time, we lose over 30% of our counts with our biological activity when chlorine is present.
Fortunately, we have a really good answer for that. We have a product called BioPrep.
What is BioPrep?
BioPrep is a product designed to turn chlorine into chloride, which chloride is actually plant food. You know, if we could turn this negative product into a positive one for our plants, it works great.
So if you're a farm operation and you have rural water and you're making applications with a biological product or a microbe product in the tank, you have to have a conversation about BioPrep.
Absolutely. But there's more, because we do need to worry about the other things in your water, like calcium, magnesium, and what is the pH?
So the biggest misconception we constantly hear in the marketplace is all we have to do is correct our pH in the water and the rest of the things are going to be just fine. We hear products like neuratic acid or citric acid, but the reality is you're introducing an acid to the mix and we're not really fixing pH.
The idea is to tie up the calcium and magnesium, and that's what AMS was supposed to do. The whole idea, we put AMS in the tank, it ties it up, but the reality is within a minute or two, it starts to come back apart. So we have a product called Rite that actually goes in there and creates a mild chelation that actually sticks the calcium and magnesium together with the Rite, and then your pH will come down like it's supposed to, and everything will work.
So we're all about trying to create consistency, and when Rob talks about a mild chelation, what that ultimately means is we are chemically bonding Rite to the calcium and the magnesium in the water to ultimately hold those minerals in place so they don't affect other activity of what we're trying to do in that water.
So if you could do that, you're going to get pH, because remember, pH is just a symptom. When pH is high, it means we have excess calcium and magnesium in solution. Once we bind those up, the pH drops, and then our AMS can work and do what it's supposed to do. And most of our chemicals actually prefer being in that lower pH.
So the biggest thing we've had over the past 18 months with our growers across the marketplace, the number one thing that I hear about is sprayer cleanout. So Rite isn't a tank cleaner by any means, but because we're able to correct the pH and put the pH in a more balanced environment for our nutrients, the inert ingredients and the active ingredients that are in herbicides and foliar fertilizers don't have the ability to fall out of formulation. They're able to hang in.
They don't stick in the tank, they don't stick in the hoses, and they actually end up on your crop like they're supposed to.
So to wrap up, if you're making an application and you've got a biological or microbe product and you're running rural water on your farm, you have to have a conversation about what chlorine can be in a detrimental situation. BioPrep is our answer.
BioPrep is the answer.
When it comes to any other applications on your farm, whether it's a herbicide, a fungicide,
Inferno.
even a foliar application,
Yes.
what product do we need to make sure we have?
Make sure water Rite's in there first.